You're entitled to have a free choice to who you like to read and who not. But another guy that sends me a message, and because of his anger and how upset he is at something that apparently I said at one of the shurim, whether it's the Lubavitcher Rebbe or the Chabad or something else, and shows me that he received a copy of my book and he threw it in the garbage, that person literally just committed spiritual suicide. I feel bad for him. I didn't even say, honestly, for me, it's very upsetting because it's like, simply, you took a kid, you took my child, and you put it in the garbage. You put it in the garbage. My question is, why would you do that? Now, you don't like it? Fine, give it to somebody else. Give it to somebody else. Why take something that you didn't pay for? Why take something that doesn't belong to you even? Why take Torah from the world and decide to throw it in the garbage? Simply because you don't like who's on the cover? This is a very serious problem we have. And one of the things that I've noticed, Rabotai, is that in the last few days, it's a repeat offense to what I saw over the last several years, anytime I've mentioned Chabad, is that the response that you get from certain Chabad rabbis that publicize their name in their comments, and certain people from the congregation, the response is such a desecration of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name. Literally, it was better off for those people to never be born. Why? You see the things that they say, the animosity that they have towards anyone that has a different opinion than them. You're amazed that the public does not notice this. Because everyone notices, they love everybody that agrees with them. The moment you violate their three principles of faith, the Rebbe is Mashiach, the wig is number one, this is especially important, and it's either Chalav Yisrael or the beard, depending on where you go. The second you say anything against any of these principles of faith that they've declared for themselves, the comments that they make literally show more animosity than even the Christians have towards us. Christian missionaries that hate us no less than the Nazis do not respond in the same fashion. And they do it publicly, they do it in such a loudly, proudly, and this, Rabotai, is a very serious crime. This in itself shows that there is a problem even greater than what we've mentioned. Now, if a person disagrees, no problem. No problem. You can disagree. You could agree. There are different ways to do it. But to go and publicly insult, to call people names, to do all types of things, this is not a place for it. To do it proudly on the internet, to have an entire team of lunatics simply spam your phone 24 hours a day, calling you at all hours of the night, text messaging, face mail, all types of things, calling multiple numbers, doing all types of things. This is a sick group of people. Now, of course, this is not all of Chabad, or else I would have to change my phone number because simply the phone would break. But nonetheless, I've seen this time and time again, and you see here that when it comes to the issues of holiness, we're far. We're far from where we need to be. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says there are certain things you don't have to be a part of if you don't want to be a part of. There are certain things that if they are good, you don't like them, but if they're good, but you come and try to destroy it, you come and try to ruin it, you have a very serious problem with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have a very serious problem with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's one of the things that I thought to myself. With this guy sends me a picture of him throwing my book into the garbage. If you didn't like my book, no problem. No problem. Don't read it. if you didn't read it, I would know. In fact, even if you didn't like it, and you didn't like me, so much so that you threw it in the garbage, why do you have to send me the picture to do that, to show me that? What do you get out of that? To show that you're throwing the book in the garbage. What do you get out of that? That, Rabotai, is evil. That's evil. That is the way of the ISIS terrorists that show people videos of them slaughtering their children or their husbands and their wives and so on. This is spiritual terrorists. And unfortunately, Rabotai, this is well accepted behavior. This is well accepted behavior. Now, if you start looking at what the Chachamim say in comparison to what the behavior out there is, you'll see there's a world of difference. We're not going to talk much about Chabad. We're going to talk about Kedusha. But I want you to understand that there is a little bit of poison in the water here. And we're trying to figure out where is the root of the problem. I thought that I discussed it, but it seems like there are other issues. There are other issues. Even people from the community that are decent people have contacted me and told me, listen, what you're talking about is 100% right, but it's not even scratching the surface of the problem. You're saying that there's not a lot of chachamim coming out of the community? Yeah, that's probably because before they start studying and after they start studying, they have these fabrigans and everybody gets drunk. They literally drink 2 minutes before they start praying or they start learning Torah. Drink alcohol. Every few minutes they go outside smoking things that are not exactly cigarettes. Now again, this is not everywhere. But if you have members from the community reaching enemy number one complaining, you see that there is something wrong in the water. You see there's something wrong in the water. There are so many issues coming out that it's a waste of time to mention all of them. But it's important for us to know that there is a significant difference between holy and not holy. Holiness is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to tell us, what the Chachamim are going to tell us. What looks holy is not necessarily always holy. Dressed a certain way, singing a certain way, praising a certain way, doesn't make it holy. Torah is holy. Torah is holy.